All right, well, it's so nice to see those of you who are here on video. And I'm just noticing, by the way, I want to acknowledge and welcome Heather Heath, who is here and has been really the face of a lot of our entrepreneurship video modules that we'll direct you to as a resource. And so, Heather, really glad you're here. She's at the University of Wyoming and is an intern at Impact 307. And has been a really, really important part of our partnership as we go forward. So really nice to have everybody. So my name is Michelle Sullivan, and I know some of you, but not all of you, and we're delighted to have you with us today. This is the first of a series of roundtables on the different components of teaching entrepreneurship. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our initiative and then turn it over to our guest, Scott Mann from VentureLab. So we're just delighted to have VentureLab as a partner and also to have Scott. He's just a fantastic educator, so we're always happy when we can get him. So first, just a little bit about the After School Alliance. Our real goal is to help to create the conditions for young people to really grow into healthy citizens, self-sufficient, and ultimately contributing members of our communities. And we do that in a whole variety of different ways. We do that by helping to create quality in out-of-school time learning, and we also to help develop capacity in a lot of the adults who are working with young people across the state. And to that end, we have 3 major initiatives right now that are all working toward those same goals. One is around STEM and engineering mindset, the STEM and engineering mindset, and especially working with engaging girls in STEM learning. The second is our entrepreneurship initiative, which I'm going to talk about. And then our third is an initiative to really work on young people having the ability to plan financially and to attain degrees and certificates to really create a strong foundation. We're just beginning that one, and so it's more to come on that. Our entrepreneurship initiative really just launched, and and this is kind of our first. We're delighted to. Oops.
That phone just rang, and it turns my headset off. Sorry about that. Can you hear me all right? Okay, great. So our entrepreneurship initiative, we're really thinking of this as an initiative as opposed to just a series of events. And we really hope to have all of you as partners to think about how we develop the kind of skills that are inherent in entrepreneurship that can really be good for all young people: critical thinking, problem solving, public speaking, confidence building. And so we really see sort of some of the things that you practice in a safe way through pitch challenges and other kinds of mentoring that can really support young people in their development, whether they want to become an entrepreneur or not. It also is something that we're really learning how, as young people really begin to see how they can create things and actually create businesses, it's very energizing for them. And we really saw a lot of that over the course of the summer. So as a part of this initiative, we have just launched the Young Entrepreneurs Pitch Challenge, which is really, it's a competition intended to be kind of a structure through which any organization can participate and then have their kids upload a 90-second video pitch and then participate in the pitch challenge. And we really see this as just a beginning to help young people to learn those skills. It's sort of one vehicle in. And to help with that, we have set up a website with a whole variety of resources and curricula. There are the video modules, which I mentioned, that Heather has developed. And we also have the VentureLab resources that are connected to that site. The Young Entrepreneurs Initiative has resources there and many others. And so what we're trying to do is provide you with a whole variety of tools that you can then work with in ways that will be beneficial to the populations that you're working with. This is, as I mentioned, the first kind of mechanism that we hope to put in place. we're kind of thinking about whether there's an opportunity to do like a young entrepreneurs marketplace at some point in this coming year, to create these mechanisms by which we can work together to help you to support the young people in your programs. And we're also really working hard to tie into other entrepreneurship initiatives that are happening around the state. As the community colleges, many of them have really, really wonderful and robust programs, as does University of Wyoming and a number of the business incubators. So we're hoping to connect young people in their communities to these larger networks so that they are a part of something bigger than themselves and can see this. The final thing I'll say about the pitch challenge is we're really inviting young people to think about how they come up with a business solution or social solution that can contribute to their communities as we face, very challenging futures. And we have just we've just been very successful in receiving some funding where we'll be able to have some prizes. One specifically will be the Spirit of Wyoming prize, which will be a $500 award to the idea that is most contributing to some of the social solutions that we're looking to solve in the state. And then finally, if you go to our site, we would really invite you to register as a program, both so that we can continue to stay involved with you, but we also have some really cool, like little, some great we have these little stickers, and we will have some opportunities for some mini grants as we go forward in our future. So we're hoping that by registering as a program, we can really begin to build our partnership with each of your organizations as we go forward. And you can find all of that on our website. And with that, I am going to welcome Scott Mann from VentureLab. This is specifically on the kind of first stage of entrepreneurship. And I will just turn it to Scott, and appreciate all of you being here.
Hello there, everyone.
You're maybe on mute.
Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Michelle? Okay. It is great to be here. I have been looking forward to this session all afternoon. I was in Missouri this morning and did a training for after-school professionals there with the Missouri After School Network. And Michelle, you might see I stole your flower and love.
Scott, we're not hearing you.
Yeah, I can hear him.
I can hear Scott.
So maybe while we're waiting for Scott, we'll just ask if there are any questions, just to begin with, if that makes.
You can't hear me, Michelle?
Oh, you can hear Scott. Okay, never mind.
We'll get Michelle back in so you can. I want you to be able to hear Michelle. So yeah, thank you for inviting me today. Great to be here. VentureLab, this idea of entrepreneurship, it's a big topic. However, I was asked, so I'm going to focus on this step one: identify a problem. Quickly giving you some idea of who we are and kind of our scope. We are the technical assistants to the Mott 50 State After School Network in youth entrepreneurship. And we are proud to serve the Wyoming After School Alliance as they are bringing this entrepreneurial framework and ecosystem building and resources through VentureLab, our curriculum and training, to your programs. We are also really honored to serve our global community, which as of this morning was 350,000 youth, over 150 countries in all 50 states, which gives me the tingles. I love having to wake up in the middle of the night to talk to someone on the other side of the globe. And but you hear those same themes of, we want to help our kids. And we know that providing this opportunity for them to create and follow their passions, it's not only going to benefit them in the present moment, but also our community, our country, and our world. And this is what it kind of looks like when entrepreneurship is working in your programs. It's fun, which In the after school community especially, we know we want kids to show up, and in virtual even more so. When they have the power of the click, we can see these faces. But it also brings critical thinking and problem solving. It's constructivism in its concrete form, which we see kind of in that design thinking, engineering, iterative process. It also brings confidence and courage as kids are stepping up and sharing their ideas and talking about what they're doing. But it's not just for the kids, it's the adults in the room, and we get to have fun as well. It's a journey and a process for us where we get to learn beside our kids. There's the phrase, the guide on the ride, where we can go through this similar experience and model the same mindsets and skills that we want to see in our students. And at VentureLab, we have 11 primary entrepreneurial mindsets and skills that we have identified, and all of our curriculum and training resources are designed around this. In the chat, I put there the VentureLab Entrepreneurial Mindsets and Skills page, which is our one-pager. It's our foundation. We build everything from this idea that the students and the adults in the room can work and improve and build all of these mindsets and skills. Michelle mentioned a little bit about process, so I wanted to bring in this slide quickly. Putting this out in the group, and you can do in the chat, what do you notice about these different diagrams and images? You can chat it or unmute and yell at me. Circular, process, definitely. There's a flow, and that together, and that's interesting because these are from different disciplines. We have everything from the writing process to the design thinking process. The I part is service learning. Here is the 4-H experiential learning model, math problem solving, creativity, scientific process. The entrepreneurial process really ties all those together. And our founder, Dr. Glangchai, 5 years ago, coined this term E-STEAM. And it is where you take STEM plus arts integration and you view that through an entrepreneurial lens, which allows kids to really apply what their ideas are and work through that creative process, development process, and then make it into a cohesive thing that they can apply to the world. Michelle, you mentioned that focus on girls, and that is something that has been since the inception. Dr. Glangchai founded VentureLab with this idea of wanting to specifically help girls, and you started in the STEM fields, but then saw how entrepreneurship was the key. And a recent study, I believe last year by Girl Scouts USA, kind of seconded that with when girls know that their ideas are going to have a social application, there is a dramatic increase in participation, engagement, and outcomes. We also know that entrepreneurship can build the equity. That See It, Be It from the Kauffman Foundation says that 80% of entrepreneurs had that family member who was the entrepreneur. So bringing this into the after school and in-school space can be that model for kids and provide more of an equitable foundation where students can seek out and create opportunities that otherwise they may not have had. And then just confidence and engagement. There, time and time again with programs, kids come in and they're quiet and they're not sure of themselves. But by the end of that session or the end of that week, the end of that semester, after seeing how their ideas are valid and they can actually make them real, they have that look on their face right there. They have that confidence and courage. So with my little overview pitch there of VentureLab, we're going to get down into the weeds a little bit and focus on this first step of we want to have our students in Wyoming participate in the Wyoming Young Entrepreneur Pitch event. So let's start with the end in mind and see what a pitch video looks like. And then we'll ask the question, how do we get students to this point? And we'll work backwards here. So audience choice, is there a video on here? Maybe it's a name that pops out or a face. Anybody want to make a vote? We have Victoria. She has some eyewear. Rohan has an app. Anybody have any? Hillary has puff pets. They're adorable. Sharice's Compound app is really good too. Should we hear maybe from a younger and an older? Okay, I'm going to start you out then with Hillary. And Hillary.
My name is Hillary Rain Garris, and I am 7 years old, and I am homeschooled. The name of my business is Hillary's Pet Shop, and we make puff pets. Has coronavirus made you sad? Do you have to stay in the house all day? Or puff pets can help. They are made with the best yarns. They are so fluffy and they are cute. Buy 25 of them today. Thank you.
And just as simple as that, Hillary has melted your heart and made you open your pocketbook. And that's her pitch. But there's so much going on there with her empathy and wanting to create value and bring value to others and help others. And so that's an example of that pitch video. And I want to show you another one that has a very similar theme.
This year, more than 50 million American students had to start a brand new school year online. I was one of them. As a freshman starting a brand new school, I was lonely. It seemed impossible to meet my new classmates online. That's why I created Compound, an app that links students together. Here we have a prototype of Compound. When you open the app, it's going to ask you some information about yourself. I'm a high school student, I go to Valley Christian, and I'm in 9th grade. Next, it's going to ask you what you're looking for from the app. Today, I'm looking for a study group. Because I chose study group, it's going to ask me some questions about the classes I'm taking. The sample question we have right here is, what English class are you in? I'm in English 9 Honors. After I complete these questions, it's going to give me a study group. If I were to click on each of these names, I could contact each of these people individually. However, it's not very useful if you have a study group that never meets. That's why Compound also gives you meeting times and things to do during your meeting time. In this crazy time of social distancing, Compound is an essential tool to connect students. Its mission is simple: enable students to form friendships despite the circumstances. Thank you.
Yay. And yeah, that kind of let the kids speak for themselves, but you see how it really puts the term voice and choice, because we have a young 6-year-old Hillary who is bringing the puff pet, and she's solving this kind of almost a similar problem of the COVID and connection and that need, whereas you have a high schooler who is developing a different thing that's important to her. So yeah, I love how students are able to tap into what is important to them, and we know that's when engagement comes in. I mean, really apply that. So to get students, and this is our YouTube channel. You can find more of these pitch videos if they're helpful to view yourselves, or your staff, or to model for your students as well. For the Wyoming After School Alliance and the resources that we're providing, one of them specifically is our online course. So let me move some windows around here. And part of VentureLab's transition during the time of COVID was to support educators both in school and out school in the virtual environment. So we developed an online course, and we're offering this online course to those that are participating in the After School Alliance pitch event. There is a code that we can get with Michelle and Kate and provide your organization and different ways to implement that. But it's going to assist you and create a runway and a path of how do you help students identify a problem? How do you get started? Well, at VentureLab, we think a lot about this. That's my job, is how do we get inside the black box of the mind of a student and really help them see this process? And how do we scaffold and lead them and guide them through that process? So we have I'm going to show you our upper elementary online course. We also have a middle school online course that is similar, and working on the high school, so that's to come. I'm going to show you a series of videos to kind of step you through, because my goal is that this session that we're having here today you can go back and use and kind of see this as a training video as well. So we set this video up. It's the course, it's video based. I'm the instructor in the course, and we also have a youth voice. So this young lady, Katie, meets with the kids at different intervals where they're asked to show what they know. And Katie, I'll just let her introduce herself.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Katie, and I worked with VentureLab last year on my Gold Award project for Girl Scouts. And now I'll be helping you as you go through this course. As you go through each section, you'll see me at the end to see what I did for each activity. I'm excited to be working with you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
So it is set up in different sections. There's an introduction here. If I'm going to take you through kind of the shortest amount of steps. If your program has the time and the interest and wants to go through the course with a little deeper level, I definitely recommend it, and you will be able to do that. But around identifying a problem, I'm just going to bring out those activities that will be the direct pathway for you to get your kids to the point where they can have that pitch video and into the competition. So I have an idea journal, interest inventory. At VentureLab, we know that creativity starts with play and getting kids past what they think is right or wrong. So we have a series of activities that helps them really step into that space of imagination and creativity. After creativity play, and this is where I'm going to pick up, is creativity observation. Because before we identify a problem, we have to give students some tools to do that with. And those tools are active observation and making inferences, empathizing, which you saw with both those pitch videos, and then using your imagination to see opportunities and solutions. Because if we just go in with our kids and say, hey, what ideas do you have? That oftentimes, as you probably know, doesn't have the best outcome. So we can scaffold that with these activities. And so this is the beginning of the section. And I'm going to have you watch a couple videos with me as we're going to follow a similar path that the students will follow. Hey everybody, this is Scott from VentureLab. And in this session, we're going to test your observation skills. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to carefully observe how many times you see the ball passed. Ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, count. Okay, how many? I don't have much.
21.
21, says Kate. Fletcher says 19.
25.
25. Did 20, says Devin. Don't worry, you can't overbid. This is not The Price is Right. Okay. How many did you count? Oh yeah? But did you see the gorilla? Okay, check it out again, and this time look for the gorilla dancing by. Did you see it that time? Yeah? Well, I'm curious though. Why didn't you see it the first time? Thoughts? Well, we observe using our 5 senses, but in the video, you didn't see the gorilla because you were only focusing on the ball. Now, this happens in real life. We get distracted and don't always pay attention to the world around us. But active observation can be practiced. We can get better. And it's how entrepreneurs notice things around them that spark ideas that change the world. So remember, and say it with me, I am courageous, I am observant, and I am an entrepreneur. So that's kind of an intro activity, and by the looks on your faces, I think you had fun, and we know that when we're with our kids, that's like a primary goal. If they're going to log in, if they're going to unmute, turn their videos on, we want them to have fun. So through the course, that's one of our kind of underlying goals, is like we want the kids to have fun while they do this. We include takeaways. Every activity also has a short introduction that I skipped over for this purpose. There's a short quiz that I've already answered on this one. Then after the activity section, there's a reflection component, which has additional quiz. So how can entrepreneurs generate new ideas? They can observe the world around them. It's more a reinforcement for concepts. And then we provide some open-ended journal entries and idea journals. It's a tool that the students themselves can choose to use, or as instructors, you can have those as some formative check-ins or just oral discussion questions. So we also continue to scaffold this idea of observation versus inference. This activity is about the difference between half empty and half full, and how your perception and what you bring to how you view the world is important. I'm going to skip through this one because I want to get you to, yeah. So then the students will go through observation, inference, and then add the next step of problem solving. So as you can see, we're building on this as we go. And then let's hear from Katie again.
Hey, Katie here. That gorilla video was tricky. I did not see it the first time. Practicing making observations and inferences has really helped me think about how entrepreneurs come up with ideas. So if we both observe a spider in our house, I might infer that it's friendly and that I have an opportunity to create a spider house. You might infer that it's dangerous, needs to be taken outside, and create a special spider trap. Same observation, different inference, and different solutions. Keep practicing, and I'll see you at the end of the next section. Bye.
So with Katie talking to the kids, and now we're getting to identify a problem. And as I said, with VentureLab, we've kind of cracked on this for many years and as a teacher going back, I taught in the classroom for a while, getting kids to that point to where they can identify a problem and come up with a solution. There's a runway up to that where we can give them thinking tools, such as inferences, active observation, how to see opportunities around them. And then they're just going to rain down ideas because they're going to be activated. So this section of identifying a problem has the explicit goals of the youth stating that problem or the challenge they want to solve, and then empathizing with others. So we're going to see this next video on empathy and observation.
Hey everybody, this is Scott from VentureLab, and today we're going to use empathy to identify and solve problems. Empathy is trying to understand the feelings and needs of others. It puts people at the center of problem solving. As entrepreneurs, we want to walk in someone else's shoes to really understand what they're going through. This helps us understand what problems they face, what challenges they might have, and helps us to design and create solutions that will help them. So let's give it a try. First, someone who does not practice thinking like an entrepreneur. They might observe this person sitting by themselves and think, I wouldn't want to sit alone like that, and keep walking. That is not empathy. The focus was on themselves. Now an empathetic person might observe the same scene and think, oh, how sad to sit by themselves. Or maybe they infer the opposite. What a peaceful, quiet snack they're having. Now that's empathy. An entrepreneur, however, not only empathizes with how that person is feeling, they think about what they need in order to identify a problem they can solve. To do that, start by being curious and asking questions. I wonder why they're sitting by themselves. How does that make them feel? Do they want to be alone? How can I be of help? There are different ways to empathize with someone to understand how they feel and what they need. The first way is role play. You can use your imagination to pretend to be someone else having that experience. For example, if you want to understand what it's like to be a small child at a grocery store, walk around on your knees and try to reach the top shelf or push the cart. What is that experience like? Another way to empathize is through observation. People watch. Observe what someone is doing or saying. For example, spend time observing people at a park. What's their experience like? How might you improve that experience? And the most direct way to understand how someone is feeling and what they're thinking and what they need is to simply ask them and do an interview. Talk directly to them. Ask questions and get them to talk about what their experiences are like. For example, if you want to empathize and help your teachers, ask them directly, what's it like to teach students and what kind of problems do they have? Now, it's your turn. Think about your friends, family, people at your school, people in your community. What kind of problems do they have? What kind of challenges do they face? How do they feel? What do they need? Use empathy to identify problems that you can solve and bring value to others.
Pause there. I think do we want students to ask their teachers to ask us what we need and help us solve, bring solutions? And then this specific, using empathy, we give students, first of all, that foundation, but then these buckets so they can start to think about different ways that they can be identify problems, and not just in a big general sense, but giving them a focus of, with the younger kids, animals, family, friends, community, school, really opening that up for them. How's everybody doing out there? This is we're doing okay? All right, my normal trainings are breakout rooms and longer and lots of discussion. Today, we're really wanting to get you this content so you can get through that identifying a problem and helping those kids get to the pitch video. Michelle, can you hear me now? Hey, all right. So observation walk is another activity that gets students literally out and walking through their community. And I'm gonna show part of this video because it brings a lens.
Hey everybody, this is Scott from VentureLab. And today we're gonna take an observation walk to identify problems and opportunities. Entrepreneurs have a specific way of observing the world. They don't just look around and see problems, they see opportunities to innovate and create value for others. For example, most people would walk into this room, notice that it's falling apart, just keep on moving. The entrepreneur notices these things too, but then sees these problems as opportunities. So it's a problem that there's a hole in the ceiling, but that's an opportunity to have a skylight. It is super dirty, but that's just an opportunity to maybe clean it up and make some extra money. Well, the floor is broken too, and that can be an opportunity to reclaim the wood and maybe turn it into a piece of furniture or cool art that I could sell. And don't forget, observation also depends on you. You make inferences based on your experiences and your background. So what you see and I see looking at that picture may be different. For example, an artist might see that space as a studio that they can invite people in to teach lessons. A gamer might see one of the walls as a huge computer screen and invite people to come play new video games there. So bring your experience and your interests and your passions as you observe the world around you. Now it's your turn. Get out there, walk around. What do you see? What are your senses telling you? And as you observe, you'll begin to see more and more opportunities to innovate, create, and help others. And I guarantee the more that you practice this, the more ideas are going to come to you.
And that's our goal. We want kids to have ideas, to identify that problem. Opportunity seeking is one of the 11 VentureLab core mindsets. And as you practice, and you'll start to see this in yourself, where you're looking around and you see things more as an opportunity and not just as that problem. Let's hear from Katie again. Let's see how she's doing.
Hey y'all! In this section, I really learned how important it is for an entrepreneur to pay close attention to what's going on around them. I've started to notice all kinds of opportunities. So now, instead of being upset at doing the dishes, I see that as an opportunity to listen to new music. The challenge I identified is using less water at my house. This came to me when I was empathizing with my parents as they were paying the bill, and I noticed how stressed they were. I really want them to be able to not worry about it, and I bet there are many others out there who would like to lower their monthly bills too. I'm looking forward to finding many ways to solve this. See you guys later.
I love her wave at the end. So Katie has gone through this series of activities. Your youth will have gone through this series of activities and really scaffolded their thinking and allowed them from different angles, through different lenses, empathy, observation, inferencing, bringing in their own passions and interests, to brainstorm lots of challenges they see and what they want to solve around them. And then the next piece is they're going to actually find a solution. I'm not going to take you through these activities, but just a run through of the goals, and then we're going to jump through the end because they're going to practice brainstorming techniques to select a solution for that problem that they want to solve, and then they're going to develop that product, service, or app that they're going to apply as the solution. And the ways that they're going to show what they know, one of their options is to film their pitch. which is what Katie does. So I'm going to skip through. There's a series here of the activities and reflection. It's the same format, so kids get really used and have that schema as they're interacting with the course. And then find the solution, share what you know.
Katie here. This section really had me thinking creatively and outside the box. At first, I had a hard time coming up with ways to help my parents save money on their bills. But using the brainstorming rules and thinking of ways to make things worse and then better, I came up with all kinds of wacky ideas. Some weren't even possible, but I kept brainstorming until I found an idea that I'm really excited about. You can hear about it in my pitch video. So I had to practice and record my pitch video a few times, and I kept making mistakes because I was really nervous. But I didn't give up, and I hope to see your pitch video soon. See you soon.
And that right there, hearing that from Katie and your kids, because we can tell them, but maybe if they hear it from Katie, like it takes a while. The pitch video as an ask can be scary for kids. It's scary for me when I'm making videos. So let's hear what her first iteration of her pitch video.
Hi, I'm Katie. Has your family been paying lots of monthly bills? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. WaterWise is a phone app that turns saving water into a fun game that the entire family can enjoy. Download the app, connect it to your water service, and set a family goal to reduce water usage. The more water you save, the more in-app features you unlock. Each family member can have their own custom avatar. And you can even challenge other families to see who can save the most water. So who's ready to have some fun and save money while helping the planet? Download in the App Store today.
So that's where the Wyoming After School Alliance, the Young Entrepreneur Competition, that's that video that we're asking them to enter into. Within the course, that's only halfway. They can then go through secondary market research, some more in-depth prototyping. You saw her little wireframe app prototype, but we take them through a series of activities to explore iteration and testing and further refine and develop that. Primary market research, business model. And then pitching is a lesson at the end, and it does have some activities that help kids think about their body language and how they're using their voice. It shows some additional examples as well. So that is our two things that are through the website and the Wyoming After School Alliance. We have those as resources for you for the upper elementary and the middle school grades. And we're really excited to have y'all use those. I'm going to show you what we have available for high school that you can use with your kiddos in the competition. This comes as a PDF file, and then you could send this to your kids, or if there's in person, you can print and give it to them. We call this our innovation guide for young entrepreneurs, and it follows a very similar path where they begin with creativity, coming up with that idea, and taking it through to the pitch, which is that culminating piece. Here's that one pager, our mindsets and skill set. I'm going to jump back here to the table of contents for time, just to kind of show you that this first series of activities is them identifying that need, challenge, problem, or opportunity. And when they identify that opportunity, they go through a series of brainstorming to create a solution. And then they actually describe that idea. And then for this specific competition and where we're working with the After School Alliance, you can, with your time, choose to skip through the second section. And then we have some, at the end, a very explicit way to create a pitch, which lets kids get past, this is my cool thing I made, but start to really connect with the story and the why. And it's an effective format for creating a pitch script. And go beyond just describing the idea and really getting people emotionally involved. Makes for a good pitch. All right. Any questions up to this point? I've been lightning with my time here.
Scott, Rob Hill here. A quick question. I think the empathy part is very interesting, and can you give me some background on that? Why you chose to use that as a kind of an initial point?
Yeah, I'm going to hop back over to this resource, for example. This is that high school, and we open it up to them a little bit, kind of around sustainable development goals. The older kids being able to wrap their minds around humanitarian, economic challenges on a global scale. But drawing from social emotional learning and then the Castle Institute, thinking about the design thinking and engineering process that begins with empathy and defining the kind of the felt need and then more of the perceived need of your user. And then the entrepreneur, as you transition into the business piece of it, and if you want to scale your idea, your market has to see the value and wants to consume what you're creating and wants to participate. So you start with empathy to not only identify the problem, but then as you're developing the solution, making sure that it's valid. And it's not just coming from your own mind, but you're really thinking about others and identifying the problem from their perspective and then creating the solution from their perspective so they'll find it useful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. And we give them we give the high schoolers those same buckets initially of friends, family, school, and community to help them kind of focus their thinking as they're connecting, seeing problems, the opportunities, create and help others. Anybody else? If not, I'm going to push through. I have just a couple more things that'll be helpful for you. These are opportunities that can help your students as they get ready to make their pitch videos. And we have every first Thursday of the month, we have live virtual pitch events. In fact, the 2 videos that you saw were from those pitch events. Kennedy, as another 6-year-old, she had a belt idea that she will, this is one of her custom belts. What is this one called? I think it's Cheetah-rific. She'll make you that belt or she'll send you a kit to make your own belt. It is a chance to come in front of a panel of entrepreneurs and educators, and it's not a competition. It's just a practice session, and our whole goal is for the kids to leave more encouraged and to get actionable feedback on their pitch and then the idea that they have. So we have one coming up December 5th, and we'll have one the first Thursday in January as well. We have a very special pitch event coming up December 12th. We actually had to get 2 sessions because it's going to be a great one. We're going to have Girl Scout USA, director of their entrepreneurship program, Chris Sally Davis, be one of our entrepreneurs on the panel, and it's Adventure Girls. It's going to be an all-female entrepreneur panel, and then all girls will be part of these 2 different pitch events from Hawaii to Maryland. We're going to have girls from all over the state, so excited about that. And the last little piece here in my 1 minute, our mentorship program. We have a lot of our entrepreneurship programs, and not just VentureLab, we focus on getting kids excited, getting them their ideas, creating, developing those prototypes, but the what next, we often see that happen in students that have the financial and social capital to drive down to the craft store or to order that thing off Amazon. And a lot of kids don't have that, and they don't have the structured support to carry it through. So that our mentorship program is 4 months where we give the kids 2 things. We give them a leadership development experience where we mentor them through growing those mindsets, and then up to $500 in material support where we will help them grow their existing business or develop a prototype idea to that startup point. Yeah, Spark program. You can find all that information on our website. And with that, I'm going to take a breath. I am very excited about Wyoming's opportunity that we're providing here, and hope that you can bring this to your students, bring this to your staff wherever you are. Scott@venturelab.org is my email, and you feel free to contact as a technical assistant to the Wyoming After School Alliance. I am available to you, so just let me know how I can be of assistance. And I'm just now opening my chat back up, so I apologize.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Scott, and apologies earlier in the session for me not being able to hear you.
No worries.
So just quickly, does anybody have any additional questions for Scott? We feel so lucky to have you as a partner, Scott, and appreciate your being here. As Scott mentioned too, he is available if you have want to do something for your organization where you're doing kind of a brainstorming session just to think about what you can do specifically for your context. Just know that Scott is available to do that, and we're happy to facilitate that. So just know he's there for you. There was a question about in terms of the pitch specifically, the challenge specifically, and whether groups could be invited. And we didn't do groups this summer, but we have thought that it made sense if there were young people who wanted to put in a team pitch, that was something we'd like to try and see how that worked. And maybe, Scott, I'd ask you if that's been something you've seen in your experience in terms of groups or a team putting together a pitch.
Yes, definitely. It takes a little more coordination, but it's definitely the teamwork aspect of it that is always a good things to put kids into and for them to be a part of. So yeah, there's on that YouTube channel, we do have an example in our live event where we had 2 kids from a Boys and Girls Club program come in and talk about their innovative pizza idea.
Cool, great. Jana was just asking about how many times a year will the pitches be open? Right now, our winter pitch is actually we have the platform up, and it will be up, and young people can submit pitches through February 22nd. Is that right? Yeah. And so we wanted to try to have it open over the course of the winter so that as you're doing your programming, it was there to be a kind of performance of understanding. As we go through the winter, we'll have more webinars like this to kind of on a particular topic that kind of follow the process of developing an idea up until February. We'll also continue to have support and kind of community learning beyond that deadline. We really want to, again, begin to really build all of your skills and support your interests as you continue to think about this for your own work and programs. And we probably will also do another summer pitch challenge, I would suspect, too. I think last year we had really anticipated trying to work with organizations to do summer learning camps around entrepreneurship. And of course, that didn't happen. But so I'm kind of making this up on the fly, so I'm looking at Kate and apologizing. But I would suspect, a winter and a summer pitch sort of window will likely be what we try to kind of structure with some other things like marketplaces and opportunities for young people to potentially sell things that they've actually created as well.
And within those opportunities that the After School Alliance is creating for you and your programs and your youth, you yourself at a school level, program level, wherever you're at your museum, you can curate those events and you can have those opportunities for the kids to, because the more they practice, just because they pitch once, that shouldn't and could be the end. They can still participate in the pitch challenge. They can still do that pitch again, maybe a third time. The VentureLab event is coming up that first Thursday. Have them go there. Rob?
Yeah, quick question. Who predominantly enters into this? Is this a school extracurricular that your kind of target market is, or is it just a cross section of ages and people, or I mean, how best does this integrate into our education system and then outside of it?
Well, I think, Rob, to us, actually, this idea of the practice of entrepreneurship could be something that happens in after school, or it could happen in in school. And one of the things, especially given we have a real interest in supporting both early elementary and middle school, but we're really focusing also on thinking about what it looks like for high school students in particular. And I think we all understand that as young people enter high school, they may be in a club, or they may be in FFA, or in a CTE course, and that kind of line between in school and out of school kind of disappears. And so we really see this more as a what's the word, a container that anybody can participate in, that it's something that could be a carrot that can be out there for you to use as you're beginning to try to think about programming and ways of engaging young people in meaningful ways right now. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, and it really makes sense to me with, you know, we have students that are in school together, but then they meet after school together, and it looks like it's kind of cohesive between both, and I look at it as a natural alignment in a lot of the CTE courseworks, but you know, I think the way education and the way we look at it is changing so rapidly. I think it hasn't, you know, these are implications in our core content stuff very much so. So I'm just kind of fascinated with it. You know, one other comment on it. I think, you know, when we really started pushing some years ago with problem-based and project-based learning and found some success with that, I think one of the things that we noticed was some of the work we were doing, we already had the problems, but we weren't focusing on problems we didn't know about. And, you know, like this kind of COVID thing blindsided us, but if, you know, when we look at how society changes and the problems we didn't even know we had, you know, even looking back a year ago, we didn't know we had where we were headed. But so I just think it's neat to look at it from this different lens, and I really think that empathy thing is a real buy-in piece. So I just hadn't heard of that before, so I thought that was very engaging as well too.
Yeah, great. So actually, Kate, maybe I'm going to say one more thing, but I'm wondering if you would pull up the YouTube, that 1-minute YouTube video that has some images of the kids from Wyoming from this summer. Because if everyone will indulge us, we'll share with you just a quick video of some of the kids who participated in the pitch challenge this summer. And I think it gets to some of what you're talking about. Tanya, one thing I was thinking to Rob's point is, I know in Dayton, that kind of idea of maybe teaming up with a CTE teacher or someone who is working in the schools, that an after school program could complement and do activities that began to sort of support that. So thanks, Devin. We'll try to just share this real quickly if you're ready, and you've got.
Hi, I'm Colt from Colt 45 Bakery.
Hi, my name is Maui Oram. My business idea is Faith on Wheels.
The Wyoming Young Entrepreneur Pitch Challenge is an opportunity for young people in Wyoming to practice problem solving and critical thinking.
I enjoyed basically just the whole thing. I loved everything.
I really enjoyed being able to make my own business and things like that, because that's one of the things I've been wanting to do for a while, but I never really thought that I could do it. So this put it into perspective and made it so I could do that.
It is also an opportunity for young people to see themselves as contributors to Wyoming's future.
I was getting to help my state. I love Wyoming, and I loved to be able to have the opportunity to come up with a solution for these problems, to be able to make it a better place.
Well, one of the huge steps is partnering with the Hunger Initiative. I don't know if you saw it in my video. I talked about that a little bit. we're going to try to partner with them. So, you know, you're not only going to be feeding yourself, but you're helping feed other kids in America.
Join us in helping to support young people and their promise. For more information, please visit our website.
To the youth of Wyoming, are you up to the challenge?
That's a good place probably to say thanks to everybody. But it's sort of, the thing for me was, it's just amazing when you let these kids run, how inspiring they are. So, all right, any last questions or comments? We're delighted to have you here, and thanks so much. And just keep in touch. We'll continue to build and hopefully support you in all of your work with young people. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thanks, Scott. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you all for the opportunity to share. And yeah, we're here for you. Y'all have a good